Welcome to Christmas in July. Today we are making these fabric napkins for your Christmas table. It is Christmas in July, and we are going to teach you how to make this beautiful Christmas tree with the stem, perfect for your Christmas table. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Where Wendy Travels, Where Wendy Creates. We are continuing with our Christmas in July. Woo-woo! And today we are going to be making Christmas napkins. And what on earth, Wendy, do I have in front of me? I have a pattern that is going to tell us how to make a Christmas tree napkin. So I'm really excited about this. And what you need is fabric that is 16 and a half inches by 8 inches, and we are going to go ahead and create some beautiful napkins. And I do have Sylvia with me today, and I'm going to ask her to come on in and tell us how she makes these. Sylvia? Okay, so with our 16-inch circle, how do we get that? Oh, no! Well, my friends, if you have a 16-inch across circle, perhaps the bottom of a small laundry bag or a platter, you can go ahead and cut out the full circle, cut it in half, and then create our napkins. And Sylvia?
Okay, what we do is we want to marking on your template, your piece that you've cut out, the half of the 16-inch circle. You will come down approximately 5 inches from one side.
Okay, we're going to come down to the 11-inch mark.
And you want to go straight across to the outside.
Use a ruler, go straight across.
That's your fold line. But also, all your folds is going to come from that 5-inch point.
Or 11-inch, depending upon what side you're looking at.
Yes, depends upon, measuring down. All right, but your first fold line you'll want to mark at approximately 2 3/4, and then go around from that. But you
every 2 3/4, right?
Yes,
no? Or growing.
All of these are only fold lines once you get the finished product and you start to iron it. Except for this one here, I've got the top stitch fold line.
Okay.
This will be a permanent memory line. To once these napkins are washed, you can go by this line itself to get your other folds.
And to get this line here, we're at the 11 inches and we're taking it over to the 5.5-inch line. So 5.5 to the 11 on the shorter side. Okay.
And you'll notice down at this side, I've drawn a walkie square. Well, this is your trunk.
Christmas tree trunk placement. Okay.
And you can cut your greens, browns, whatever you have that you want your Christmas trunk to be, approximately 2-inch by 2.5-inch. Could be a little larger, a little smaller. It's no perfection is needed there.
Okay, and that's just what sticks out below our Christmas tree.
Yes, and I've got it laid up here because this is the placement. You would put inside their 2 folds.
So right side to right side, inside.
Correct. The finished part would go this way, and the raw edge is here for when you seal it up.
Okay.
But when you sew this together, you're going to need to leave an opening for turning it on. Now, let's show. You'll get a piece of fabric, any fabric you plan on using. And for Christmas trees, you want one side to be different from the other.
Oh, okay.
So you've got the contrast.
Because when you fold it over, the opposite side
yes.
shows on each fold.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So you would lay this down, and what I would normally do when I'm cutting these is I'll have the front and the back face to face.
Okay.
And then
So if I'm off on my cutting, they're still perfectly matched.
Correct. And what I'll do is I'll go around with my marker.
Okay.
And then I'll use my rotary cutter But then if you pull it away and you weren't smooth with your rotary cutter, you can see the line, and then you can either use scissors or your rotary cutter
So
to get
this
your
is a very forgiving project.
Very forgiving.
So if you are a 1/4 inch off on your final product of napkin, nobody's going to know it from their partner's napkin from the other napkins.
That's right.
I love it. Okay, my friends, perfect gift idea. This is Christmas in July. Let's look at making a bunch of these, having these ready to gift at the holiday, not to mention all those wonderful Christmas in July holiday sales, the craft fairs that are going on this month and next. This is the time to go ahead and zip out some last minute thoughts for that next weekend event. And Sylvia, what we doing? We're putting them right sides together.
Right. I'm placing this roughly back on here.
Okay.
We don't need our lines here yet.
Okay.
But what we'll do is we know where we want our tree trunk roughly.
Okay.
So we can mark, mark down here and mark here.
Okay.
Right here. So this is our tree trunk. So we can start sewing right here or just a little bit close to it, but we need to leave a little bit larger space on one side because you've got to get the whole thing turned inside out.
Flip it, turn it. Gotcha.
Turn the right side out.
Okay, that makes sense.
What I do is I mark this, then I take it to the sewing machine, and then I will sew around all the way up and around. You can place pins here and there on the round side and a couple on this side just to make sure they don't slip and slide around.
But again, leave this open, my friends. We got to turn it right side out, not to mention placing our trunk.
Right. Once we get it sewed all the way around, leaving our opening, we will get a pair of pinking shears. Pinking shears are the scissors that's got this zigzag effect to it.
Wonderful. Okay.
Now, if you don't have pinkers, you can also just use your regular scissors and nip it a little bit, not past your stitch line, just but nip it here and there around your curve, so when it turns, it will lay flat.
And my friends, if you nip your stitch line, please go back and double stitch. Do not do this project with nipping through your stitches. Go back and re-sew, because we want these are napkins. They're going to be washed over and over and over again. These are going to last you many, many, many Christmases to come.
And one more thing, when we sew our clothing, we use a larger stitch in our machine than what we do when we sew quilts and crafts. For this particular item, you want a tight stitch. You don't have to have 20 stitches per inch, but let's go for at least 14 stitches per inch.
Okay, very good.
And once you've sewn around it and you've got it pinked, you want to turn it the right way. All right, let's say this is already sewn and turned the right way.
Okay.
Oops. Then you're going to take it to your ironing board, and you'll make sure that it all lays out flat.
Okay.
And you'll press it.
And Sylvia, you taught me a little trick that if these, after we've done it with pinking shears, we've turned it right side out. If it still doesn't want to come, we can use a needle and just poke it in the side and pull it out. Poke it in and pull it out.
Yes, let me show you how that works with a different one.
Okay.
We've got one. It's red with holly on one side, and it's got reindeer, and background is green on the other. All right, we can take it. We've already turned it the proper way. And now we want to iron around, but we have to look at it. Well, looks like this side didn't come out all the way. I've got a pin here, and what I'll do is I'll just put my fingers here, make sure that this comes all the way, put a little finger press, go again, do your finger press on it, and what that's going to do is that's going to hold it like your fingers on it, because you do not want to get your fingers close to the iron when you're ironing.
Right, so watch that edge of that iron there, since we're using our ironing board as our table as we go along.
Okay.
And that makes a crisp, clean, smooth edge. Oh, those little reindeer are adorable.
And also, when you get to the point, we do want to point on these, so stick your needle in lightly. Just wiggle it. You don't have to pressure it out, but just wiggle it a little bit till you get close to a point. And this side looks pretty good. Let's roll it over and have a look, see? It's pretty close all the way. Down here we got a little end, so we'll pull it out. And here, this is the other point. Make sure it's out. Needle in it and wiggle it a little bit. Because I didn't show you, but when you pink around the edges, take your other scissors and nip the sharp point out.
Okay.
Don't cross your stitches though, but you can come fairly close to it. Just don't nick the stitches.
And we're all human. If you nick the stitches, just re-sew it.
Just re-sew it. Now here's where our opening is.
Okay.
Okay, what we want to do is to fold this approximately the 1/4 inch in, like we've got a 1/4 inch seam here.
So this is just 2 pieces of fabric. There is no batting in the middle. This is a napkin, not a towel. This is a napkin for your guest table, for your Christmas dinner table.
Kids love these too. If you were having a group of family group over and there's some young kids, make up some of these in happy-go-lucky Santa Claus presents, you know, the fun bright look.
And my friends, they do not have to match on your table. They can be different kinds. Everybody gets a different one and takes it home with them.
Mm-hmm. And here is...
Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is your 2.5 inch strip by 4 inches.
No, 2.5 by 2. And what we've done, we've put them face together and sewed. This is 2.5 inch strip wide, approximately 2 inches long, but it's got our little small seams in it, which is a tight seam. Now,
so this is 2.5 by 2 pieces sewn together?
Yes, I will.
Okay, there you go.
I will demo this on the sewing machine in a minute.
Excellent.
We'll take this, and what we want to do is it to stick out here. Now, if we sewed this on while it was turned the other way, we would have this part laying here. And so when we turned it right side out, it would be sticking out because you'd only have it sewed on one side.
Okay.
And then what we do now, well, here I'm so fast I forgot to show you how to iron it. What you need to do once you made sure all the sides are out is just press it down. Now, let's take this pin, and we want to make sure we keep our placement in proper here.
Okay.
And there we go, that's proper. We're gonna now top stitch all the way around this, and we can even top stitch around this if we like.
Okay. All right, how'd you get here, Sylvia?
Okay, first let me put a little press in this, and this will be our crease marks.
Okay.
Okay, so there we are, back out.
Right.
And remember, this is our 5 inch permanent stitch line.
Straight across here, right?
Yes. Once here, let me do it this way. It's this way, it's 5. And then it's this way. Once you get it all stitched around, you'll want to put your permanent stitch line, which is this fold here.
Okay.
But it's marked on your
pattern. So
you've already marked it on your pattern. But this is the only stitch line that crosses it. All the others is just around the edges for the top stitching to hold it down.
Okay.
And then you would fold this over to the stitch line. Then fold the stitch line back. I'm going to flip it over now. As you see, you're starting to see the back. Now you pick this up and fold it over till it comes.
That's so pretty.
And as you go back and forth, you're going to have your different colors. Now, if you've had done multiple cuts at a time, you may have some going this way, and some may end up
The opposite
the
direction.
opposite
with the red being
direction.
dominant.
With red as your dominant color.
Oh,
Oops,
beautiful. So you choose.
Yes. So you choose. There we go. So you can have it whatever your color that you're using for your table for that Christmas.
Ah, okay. So each year, the ones I keep, I can... Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm loving this. Now, Sylvia, show me from start to finish, how do we do this?
So we're going to take a couple of pins, put it in around so that the roundness of our...
And we have our right sides together. Wanted to open that up and show you. So we have right sides together, and this is going to be a red Christmas tree. And we're just using our pens to keep them perfectly straight as we go around. Because Sylvia likes to do it right the first time.
That's true.
And I'm making fun of her daughter, Wendy, who is me.
Okay, now remember I told you the Christmas tree placement. We want it approximately 2.5 inches. So that's going to bring it guesstimation of right about in here. I am not going to measure because it's a pure guesstimation. If you want to be exact, here's our 2.5 inch strip. Looky there. About what I said. So we'll say we can't sew any closer than this, and we'll leave an opening from this to here. So I'll start stitching here and go all the way around and stop here. Let's get to it.
Okay.
I am using red on one side, and I am using a mixture of greens on the other side.
Okay.
Now, I have been doing a lot with red
threads.
Red on one side and green on the other, so instead of just changing the thread.
It's still the Christmas color.
That's correct.
And a little bit of green on a tree never hurt.
No, it does never does hurt.
Needle down, foot up. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and continue stitching around the entire straight side, the round side. When we get to the edges, we are doing a needle down, a foot up, a pivot, and going around the other side. Pulling out our needles before we get there.
And stopping approximately 1/4 inch or a stitch over 1/4 inch from the end. And away we go.
So we have a stack of our Christmas napkins that we have sewn together, plus some other goodies under there. Look at the tree trunks and fun other stuff. And let's go ahead and press all of these. So we are ready to stick the trunk in and sew around the outside line. Let me see if I can go find our pen, and that way we can pop some of the corners out to make it extra tight, and around the edges where we need to make it perfectly lined up. That looks good. And our seam, of course, we're going to fold that in and press that to where our seams are good, and then we'll put in our trunk, pin it, and stitch it. Let me go grab that pen. And I have our pen. Just want to put it right in between the two seams. Pop it out. In between, pop it out. So much better. I know you can't see that very well, but that is a huge, huge, huge difference. And look at that. Between the two layers there, that was at least 1/8 of an inch we gained back. And again, it just makes a neater, more complete, professional product when we've pulled out all of those sides. Okay, so as we pull them, we're going to go ahead and press them down, locking in that beautiful edge. That needle just wants to disappear when I lay it down. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around the edge as we press. Give it a little finger press. Some people use a roller. Let me know if you use a roller to do your edges like this, or if you just use your fingernail to press before we do the iron for the perfect crease. Hit that comment button below. I'd like to know if you do it any differently and have received happy success by doing so. And we backstitch before the opening because that's going to be able to take all the torque and pull of turning the project the right side out, pushing out those corners and sticking in our little tree trunk, folding it over and pressing it flat. Okay, now we've pulled it off. We're going to go ahead and take our scissors and we're going to nip the corners, making sure not to cut into our threads. And then we're going to grab our pinking shears, and again those are the zigzag scissors, and we're going to go ahead and trim around the entire circle, making sure we stay away from that stitch line, and that way when we turn our half circle correctly out, it's going to turn easier. It's not going to torque and pull and not want to come out and be even against our stitches. So just be careful, take your time, go around that half circle. Okay, so our half circle is done. We've sewn around, we've left our opening so we can turn it. Again, we need at least 2 inches here to turn it, at least. And then we have used the pinking shears to go all the way around, and we've nipped off our corners. Now we're going to go ahead and turn it right side out and take it to the ironing board.
Oops.
Okay, and now we're turning it right side out. We're just sticking our thumbs inside. We're working them over to the far corner. We're going to put one finger pressed up into the corner, another finger on the outside of the corner. Pull it out, get it as close as we can, and then pull the rest of the body down. And then lay them flat. We're going to finger press the outside, and we can use a needle if we need to help poke out those ends and make sure that those sides are laying correctly. Okay, so we have one of our Christmas trees. We have gone ahead and put the pin in to hold our stump in the opening where we turned it. And now we're going to go ahead and put it under the sewing needle. We're going to pull our pin out before we get there. This one's a beautiful red and green. Pull our pin out before we get there because we're not going to sew on top of it, but we want to hold it till we're ready to go over that place. And we're just going to do a scant 1/4 inch all the way around. You might see us do maybe an 1/8 inch or a scant corner. And let's go ahead and see that done. And we're starting right on the corner with our straight side out, our oval side towards us. So we get our stem in first and we can pull out that needle. then right over the edges of the stem, we do a quick back stitch because we want to lock in that stem, and it may get a little bit more played with children grabbing the stem and throwing open or close the Christmas tree using that stem. So that's why you saw us do a double stitch there. And as you can see, the stitches in the back, they are absolutely beautiful. We are on a 2.5 stitch. We are using the Husqvarna Viking. And we are so excited to do our Christmas in July napkins. And my friends, these napkins sell like hot fire at craft shows. So if you're willing, make about 50 of these puppies. You'll have plenty for yourself and a nice display for your craft table. And if you've got enough different colors and enough excitement and show on these, I'd be tempted to say that I would make 100 just for my table. Just like I do my soup bowl cozies, when I'm doing a craft fair, I usually have 200 to 300 soup bowl cozies ready for a half-day event. I have sold over 100 soup bowl cozies in about a 3-4 hour craft show. So you never know what audience you're going to get, but these are lovely keepsakes for your family members and great sale ideas for handmade, homemade crafts for the craft fair. Christmas in July, y'all. And look at those deer. They are adorable. And we're on the home stretch. Okay, and we have just finished the outside stitching to finalize our Christmas tree. And Sylvia, go ahead and open that up. Show us how you folded that again. And I suspect by now you're not even using a ruler because you've done this so many times.
Correct.
All right. So now we can take it to the ironing board and press it down solid. But tell me about the stitch line that you say we do across the body and we only need one.
Okay. What you need is just one memory stitch right across here.
Okay.
And that tells you where the first fold is.
And in the beginning on the pattern.
The first fold. And then this part folds up to this. And then this part folds right over to here.
That is so pretty. I really, really love the red and the green there together.
Mm-hmm. Thank
you. Okay, so show us that stitch line.
Okay. The stitch line is going to be from this point here, which is approximately...
Yeah, we measured it in the beginning. I think we did...
from here over.
Okay, so... Okay, and then we're pressing our solid, our Christmas tree down solid. So we're creating that crease on our measurements that our pattern originally told us to do. And then we'll take it back to the sewing machine and do that final stitch, because by pressing it first, Sylvia, you said if we open it back up, we can see the crease, and that's our line to go ahead and stitch. Either that, or we could use a fabric pen or fabric marker to go ahead and mark that, but we're ironing it anyway, so that's why we do it with the iron. Awesome. Okay, let's go sew. Okay, so there's our crease line. And we're going to go ahead and stitch that line, and it's just a normal 2.5 straight stitch, back stitch at the beginning, back stitch at the end, because that place may get torqued and used. And again, this is a napkin, my friends. We wipe our dirty hands on these. We wipe our dirty mouths on these. These will get washed after every single use. So, looking at one holiday season to the next, you may be using and washing this 5 times if you have company. 5 different meals that you use these beautiful napkins. So we want them to last for a few years or many more. So we want to make sure our stitches are solid, are strong, are reinforced, And we're going to watch the big reveal one more time, Sylvia. Fold that puppy up. Let me see it.
Okay. Let me clip one more stitch here.
Trim our threads. Always important because we never want to leave those threads long when we're serving them at the table. And look at this. How easy is this once you have used your pattern to measure those creases? You've pressed in those creases. And now go ahead and fold it up.
Okay.
It's magic.
One more statement here. Once it's washed, you're not going to have these other folds that you ironed in, but you will have this where the stitch is, and you'll know to put that one down, fold the top back, pick it up, bring it all the way over to the other and down.
And repress it.
And you're ready to go.
Because
there you go.
when dinner is served, we want a clean, crisp, fresh, beautiful napkin with our fork and our knife and our spoon, our tableware set right on top of it next to every single table setting. Children needs these as well as adults. This is a napkin to wipe your face, wipe your hands, ball up, reuse, launder, and keep going. So very, very excited. These sell so incredibly well at craft fairs. Go make a bunch. Have fun, my friends. Have a great day. Sylvia, say goodbye.
Goodbye.